Good evening, and welcome to the Arundel Camera Club meeting for Thursday, November 10th, 2022. My name is John Milliker, and I'm the club president for the 2022-2023 season. The Arundel Camera Club was founded in 1957 and exists to promote the arts, science, and education in all aspects and fields of photography. For more information about us, please visit www.arundelcameraclub.org. We are excited to be finally meeting in person again. I invite anyone watching us online that is located near or in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, to visit us at our meeting location, which is the Severna Park Baptist Church, located at 5066 Benfield Road, Severna Park, Maryland. As a reminder, though, we are meeting in person and also virtually for every meeting except for the second Thursday of the month, which is tonight, our digital contest. Before we get to our contest for tonight, we have some announcements to make, and we're going to switch that over to our programs chair, Christine Milliker, for the schedule.
Tonight is our digital photography contest with an open theme, and on November 17th, next week, is our print contest. November 24th, there is no meeting. Have a happy Thanksgiving that week. On December 1st is our program by our very own Bob Weber on glass photography. And then on December 8th is another digital contest with a theme of windows and doors. December 15th is our Christmas party, and December 27th is our print contest, also theme of window and doors. And then the 29th, there's no meeting because of Christmas and New Year's.
Perfect. That Thursday between Christmas and that week, there should be the 22nd. December 22nd will be our print contest. And also, I failed to put in the field trip for this week, which is not this weekend, but next weekend. It will be on Saturday, November 19th, to the Udvar Hazy Air and Space Museum. And, keep an eye out on our email for that to get some more information about that. I believe that's about it. Ron, are you here? Do you want to introduce the judge for tonight?
Sure. I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We should.
John, on Facebook, it's a black screen. They're not seeing anything.
Black screen on Facebook. Let me take a look real quick. Just make sure I don't see a black screen.
On my computer and everyone that's talking is.
Okay. Well, let me go on over.
Sorry.
Mine shows a schedule.
Yeah, mine shows the schedule. So let me go on to a different computer and take a quick look. I see the schedule here as well. Can everybody that's having a black screen, can you please refresh and let me know if that fixes everything for you?
That did fix mine. Okay, sorry.
Perfect, no problem. Go ahead back, Ron, and I'll deal with any issues that we may have in the comments.
Okay, thank you, John. We're off to the races this evening with a digital contest. And with a judge that you all know well from past visits to our club. And did want to mention that, as John and Chris both brought up, next week, we normally have 2 weeks between the digital and the print contest. Next week is our print contest, and it's just like any other print contest, except that you have 1 week to prepare the images based on the feedback you might get from today if you find some things you want to resubmit. So just to alert you, don't get too relaxed about going into next Thursday. Now, our judge for this evening is Mike Washington. Mike is very well known in the area. He is on Facebook and Instagram quite a bit, almost daily with images. And I have a lot of admiration for his ability to go out and capture something interesting to photograph just about every day, and B, it's a good image. I mean, whenever it's up there, it's really very amazing. And sometimes the pictures kind of give you a different viewpoint, a different angle. And so I would highly recommend friend Mike and try to get a look at some of his Facebook stuff. Now, Mike is very active with the Carroll County Club and has been for a number of years. And also for a number of years, he's been active with the MPA. He is our treasurer and keeps the MPA, which actually has, when you have a nonprofit like that, it's pretty complicated. So he does an excellent job of keeping us very fair and well organized. But one of the most talented photographers I know. I think we've really appreciated his feedback in the past contests. He's joined us, and he's had a little bit of look at the images for tonight. And Mike, before we get started here, do you have anything else you want to fill in that I missed?
No, I think you pretty much covered my current history pretty well. I basically came to the game back in the early 70s when I got out of the military and went to film school down in Southern California. And basically, I trained to be a cinematographer, and in order to do that, I had to learn photography. So from then on, I've been doing it. I kind of dropped out for a while when I was in real life working, but picked it up back again somewhere in the early 2000s when, I got my 2 megapixel Nikon and started learning how to manipulate photos. So here I am, and I'm looking forward to giving you some feedback on some of these photos. We're ready to go. We've got a lot of them.
Sounds good, and happy to see 18 novice photographs this evening, and they're pretty amazing photographs, actually. We've got an anticipation of needing to select 6 finalists. 4 of them would be places 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2 would be honorable mentions. So, John, I guess you're going to take us through the images this time, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Let's go to the first image. Image number 1, special ice filter technique. Number 2, Lake Lucerne. Number 3, Dirty Percy. Number 4, Stages of Melt. Number 5, Forgotten. 6, Morning Heron. 7, Ernie. 8, Hodgin in the Dip at Sunrise. 9, Come Hither. 10, Sunrise Rocks. 11, Floating By. 12, Knife Edge Pass. 13, Couple Bench. 14, Getting Full Quickly. 15, Morning Glory. 16, Upstream and Around the Bend. 17, Maple Leaf Home. And 18, Rainy Day.
Okay, Mike, we're going to do the next round will be the in-out round, if you will.
Okay.
And we'll start with the first image, I guess, John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have it up. I want to say I'm glad to have it on my own screen and on Lightroom here too, because I profiled my screen today to make sure the colors are all right. And the image I have on the Jetsy thing here is not entirely resolved, so I get to see the real deal. Okay, our first image here. I don't know if this is a filter you're passing this thing through or you created this look. It's an interesting look, but I think it would look better on another subject. The subject you're using here isn't quite all that interesting too. And you got this little red bench down in the corner that's just kind of protruding into the frame. Without that, and you have pretty dark area down there. Perhaps if you cropped it up just a touch past that red frame, at least you'd have, you got the blues and the yellows and all that looks good, but the neighborhood is basically all you have to go on. And the filter is not all that compelling to me either. So I'm going to pass this one.
Number 1.
We'll drop this.
Go ahead, Ron. You do the ins and
Okay.
outs, and I'll just match them on my screen.
Okay, number 1 is out.
Okay, now this one here, I looked at this image here and it has a ton of potential. I'm going to drop it because I think it needs a good bit of work. But if you crop up above that tree there, because that's not helping your frame at all, basically check your histogram, push them all the way to either edge. White's all the way to the edge, black's all the way to the edge. Make this black and white, and maybe even take the highlights and bump that up just to 10 or so, just a little bit. You would have an image. It'd be a pano. It'd be a gorgeous image. I think it'd be a winning image, even in print. It would look similar to stuff that Cole Thompson does. You got a lot of real good potential there. You might even want to take the haze slider and dehaze that just a bit too, just to keep all the haze in the image as well too. But you got a lot to go with that picture. But I'm going to drop it.
Okay, number 2 is out. Number 3.
This image has some potential interest, but there's just too much non-focused on it. You have one focal point. So you kind of lose interest quickly trying to resolve this in your eye. Too narrow of an aperture. So I'm going to drop this one here too. If the things were in focus, or even if you crop down on just one of the bubbles, that might help.
Okay.
But we're going to drop this one.
All right. Number 3 is out. Number 4.
Okay. This looks like one of those, I can't remember the black sand beach in Iceland, but it's a very good picture. I like it. It's got a lot going for it because it's almost monochromatic with just a touch of, the glacier ice in there too. You can see some color in the clouds. I like it. You could probably make this image a little bit stronger if you jump into Photoshop and just kind of clone out the spectators. But I'm going to keep this one.
Okay, number 4 is in. 1 second. Okay, number 5.
Okay, here's another image that needs some work to put it into the game. It's not really competition worthy right now, but I think if you crop this thing down, maybe to a square 4x5 image, keep the bike kind of in the relative same first third position there too, you're going to have to do some manipulating with the colors and with the contrast. You got to take that white slider and just bang it all the way to the left side because everything just kind of just way too contrasty. So you got to eliminate that, drop the contrast down a touch, go into the colors panel down there, down to the illumination portion of it, and basically drop the yellows, the greens, and the oranges. And then take the red slider for the illumination and crank that up so that's a red bike. Right now it's just too contrasty. And then I think you'll have a pretty workable image.
Okay, so
but you want to crop out that fence altogether.
Okay, so number 5 is out, you say?
Yes, please.
Okay. Number 6.
Okay, this image is in. And I like it, but I think we can probably, if you isolate that heron as a subject in Photoshop or Lightroom, and just knock it up maybe about a third of a stop, just to separate it from the background a little bit, because the colors are all kind of blending in together. So you have to have him stand out a bit more. But I think with that little adjustment, I think this is a good image, so we're going to keep this one.
Okay, number 6 is in. Go to number 7.
Okay, this one here definitely needs some processing. It is way too neon right now. So again, in Lightroom or Photoshop, Camera Raw, you might want to see the order of things you do is basically I would take the brighten it up just maybe about a half a stop or so, and then just take your highlighters, take them all the way down, take the shadows, bump it up a touch so you can see what's in that black area underneath his eyes. Open those blacks up a little bit just so you can see some texture in there. Yeah, with that brightening too, that will take that neon out of it and make it look a little bit more natural what a peacock color is. And there's probably with the eye, I created a little custom slider in masking that basically I call eye brightening, and basically it's just a combination of some dehaze and some clarity and some brightening and a little texture, and it really brings the color out in the eyes a little bit. But I think with a little work on that, try this one again with the next judge. But we're going to drop this one.
Okay, number 7 is out. Number 8.
That looks like one of the Mormon barns at the Tetons without the Tetons. And I like it. I love the color, the dawn color of it too. You must have, and you got it from an angle that I never see anybody shoot it from, because it's an often shot subject. But you probably stepped away from the crowd because there's usually a zillion people around that area shooting this thing from here to there. So I like this image, and we're going to keep it.
Okay, number 8 is in. Number 9.
Number 9. Okay. I really like this image. You caught it at a nice moment, a little bit of breeze. It looks like one of those Icelandic ponies. Although you have the horizon line dead center in there, it doesn't really matter because with the blues and the greens, or the blues and the yellows, and this black pony, you've got it toned really nicely. It's been handled very well. We're going to keep this one.
Okay, that's number 9 in. Next image is number 10.
Number 10. This one's in too. Another center horizon line, but it's straight. So we'll give them that point. The image is good, and I like it. It's been handled well in terms of lighting. I just like to see, a little less sky, and to maybe you had to center that because, with a little less sky, you're going to lose your pure marker there. But we're going to keep this one.
Okay, that's number 10 is in. Number 11.
Number 11, I like too. Just because the lone leaf and a little bit, that bubbling around the surface tension, it's been handled pretty well. I don't know if we need the bottom, but it doesn't hurt. So, and it's in focus. I always like my foregrounds to be in focus, and so it works off nice. The fall off of the upper focus is fine because it's done well. So I'm going to keep this one.
Okay. Number 11 is in. Number 12.
Number 12. Hold on a second. Let me just get it up on my screen here too. Well, you got the initial image in really sharp. It was good. Got it off a soft background. But the trail looks a bit too contrived. I don't know exactly what you did, but it really doesn't work for me. Other than that, and I don't even know if the background is with the plane too, because it's a pretty soft background for that sharp of a plane. There should be a little detail, not much. It can still be out of focus, but not quite that soft. So again, it looks a little more too contrived for my taste, so I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 12 is out. Number 13.
Number 13. This one here, again, you got this horizon line dead center in it, and it's kind of askew. This one here would be helped considerably. You can keep it in the same aspect ratio you have it now. But crop it down and move everything over to the left a little bit till the sun's almost on the edge. And then I think you would have a much more pleasing image compositionally, because this is a pretty common image. You don't need all the sky. You can cut that down, and that will happen with the cropping just by shifting everything a little bit over to the screen left. And you could probably bring up the shadows just a little bit on the bottom third of the photo is a little bit, and pop the highlights just a little touch to bring a little bit of interest to those little puddles that's catching the sunlight down by their feet. That way you wouldn't basically be losing any of the silhouetting, which I do like. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 13 is out. Number 14.
14, this one is done very well. I like it. I like it compositionally. I like the whole subject of it. The colors are really, really good. The focus, point of focus is good. The drop off is acceptable in focus because it's all centered on that bee, and the bee is tack sharp. So this one's in.
Okay, number 14 is in. Number 15.
15. This appears to me a bit of a snapshot. It really doesn't really have any particular interest to me. It does fit the theme of the photograph, but the ghost arm coming out of the left frame doesn't really help it any. You got a table full of clutter, one person who's not particularly engaged in the photo, and one person is. Perhaps, and I'm not making any promises, if you just basically cropped it all the way down to the one guy and make a portrait of him, you'll have to adjust the shadows under his hats. Hats are a bane of mine when I'm taking portraits. I tell them to take it off because it always shades their faces. But I'm going to have to drop this one.
Okay. Number 15 is out. Number 16.
Number 16 has some interest with the, with the meandering of the lake. The moss on the ground seems neon unnatural to me, though. And so, and the rock on the side too doesn't particularly. It seems almost in focus, but not quite. Let me just take a closer look at my screen. No, actually the focus is good. I was looking at the wrong screen. I think if you put this in Lightroom and go to the hue adjustments of those, and just take a little of the yellow out and push it a little bit to one direction. I don't know which direction to push it to, because one will make it more yellow and the other direction will make it more orange. So you might want to take the greens and push it to a little bit more green and then adjust the yellows. And that should put you in a point where those colors don't look so neon. But there is interest to this photo, and I'm really on the edge with this here. So I'm going to put it in, say yes to this one and put it in the finals.
Okay, 16 would be in. Number 17.
17, that's one of those photos, and I take them all the time. Hey, that looks kind of interesting. I'm going to take a photo of it. And then it kind of sits on the cutting room floor after that. So other than that, there's really no particular interest to that, to these maple leaves. It almost has a kind of an Asian look to it. So perhaps with a little modeling, let me hit the V cam on that. And, that has potential in black and white with some toning. So I'm going to drop it, but try this in black and white.
Okay, number 17 is out. And next is our last image, number 18, Rainy Day.
18. This is an image I like a lot because it's one of those, moments images caught her. I would like to see the back leg, but where it's at under the yellow car is fine. My only contention with this is that you don't need all that top. It looks like you crop this thing to get some smudge and garbage out of the sides, but you left all that top in there, and it's not doing anything for the photo. It's just empty space. It's just blank space, not contributing. If you basically crop this down to the bar on the window that's right above the language there, I think that's would make a great image there. You might want to eliminate that blue line at the bottom too, because that's not helping at all. But I think it's a great photo, so I'm going to keep this one in too. But I would urge the maker of this image to take a second look at that and just zero in on the subject itself. It would make her larger in the frame too as well. So we'll keep this one in here and see how it does in the final count.
Okay. Well, Mike, in my count here, we have 9 left in. Does that match yours?
Hold on a second. Let me just go back because I have not been keeping up. Let me just go back here to the ones that I know that I kept. And that one, this one, and this one. Okay, I'm going to read back the numbers to you and see if they match what you have.
Okay.
Okay, I got number 4.
Okay.
Number 6.
Yes.
Number 8.
Yes.
9.
Yes.
10.
Yes.
11.
Yes.
14.
Yes.
And 18.
Do you have 16 as well?
Let me see, 16. 14.
I may have missed.
16, yes. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I do have 16. Right.
All right. Yes, I see it there. Okay.
Okay.
John, you set this up on one screen here, right?
I do. I have all 9 up.
Okay. Mike, does that work for you to work from those, or do you want to
Yeah,
go?
so I'll do the same thing on my screen too. So
Okay.
I'm just going to filter for the flags.
Okay.
Wait a second. All in flagged. Oh, what's going on? I guess I will work from your screen because custom. Oh, okay. Now I got them. Yeah. Okay. First, I'm going to eliminate down to 6 is what I'm looking for. 1 through 4 plus 2.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to let's see, get all these guys back up again. I'm going to drop, since I can't see the number 6 on your screen there, because I don't know what the photo number is. The black and white,
The
leaf in the pond.
Gotcha. Okay. That's number 11 floating by. So number 11 is out.
Okay. Number 7, we'll drop that one.
Okay. Number
That
7.
one needs a little bit more work.
Okay. That looks like number 16, upstream and around the bend.
Yes.
Okay.
So I need to drop one more.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, strength of competition. I'm going to drop the seascape It's number 5 on the screen here, but I don't know what the number of the image is.
Okay, that is. That is number 10.
Okay.
Sunrise.
Yeah.
Sunrise Rocks. Is that it?
Sunrise Rocks.
Okay.
Okay.
You can start with the first place down or honorable mentions up, however you'd like to do it.
Okay. I'm going to do 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
The heron and the lady who needs to be cropped.
Okay. 1 second. The heron was number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was
The
the
lady,
last number 18, I believe it would
18.
be.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So it's 1 through 4 now.
Yes.
Okay, the heron would be number 4.
Okay. Bear with us. Is that's now more the heron? I'm sorry. Morning heron number 6.
Yes.
No,
I thought that was honorable mention.
that was honorable mention. I think. Yeah, number 6.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I'm still showing 5 images on the screen here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So okay, then I will. I'm showing 5 images on your screen, and the heron is still up.
Double click on my screen and make it
okay,
full.
I got you. Okay, I see it. Okay, then I will make. Boy, this is going to be tough. The barn, number 4.
Okay. That's image number 8.
Okay. I will make the blue ice in Black Sea. I'll make that 3rd place.
Okay, that's number 4.
The pony, number 2.
Okay.
And the bee, number 1.
Number 9. And the B you say is number 1. That's number 14.
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. I'll get myself organized.
Where are my filters? There we go.
Okay. All right, let's see what we have.
Okay.
Missing one more. Actually, it's pretty tough. There are a lot of nice images there.
No, there was that, really.
So let's start with the honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 18, Rainy Day, by John Verdi. Our second honorable mention is Morning Heron by Anthony Cusado. Congratulations. And image number 4, winner number 4 is Hodgin in the Dip at Sunrise, Elaine Hambley. And number 3 is Stages of Melt, 3rd place, Debbie Wolf. Congratulations. Number 2 is Come Hither, also Debbie Wolf. And 1st place is Getting Full Quickly, Russ Zakari. So congratulations to the winners. It's a nice collection.
All of them could have been 1st place.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to make you work really hard. So we'll try to keep the standard up for the next set of images.
Well, the next set of images is going to be a blast because there's many of them.
Yeah. All right.
Just to bounce in here real quickly, congratulations to the novice winners. Please be sure to share your images on the Facebook group. Tell us a little bit about the image, how you shot it, and we'd love to hear about that.
Okay. I have not been repeating the titles on this, John, after you do it in round 2 because we have the numbers. If you think I should, I certainly don't mind doing that. But
We usually don't,
okay.
just the first go round.
Because the title is actually up on the screen. For
Yeah, it
folks
is.
at home, too.
I have the title on my screen when I have it full screen. So.
It is, and just like in person, if the judge would like a reread of the title, we can always do that as well.
Sure.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
Okay, let me take a deep breath. Number 1, Kaz, West Virginia nighttime train. Number 2, woodpecker. Number 3, visitor from planet X. Number 4, sailboat convoy. Number 5, heading to work. Number 6, farmhouse wall decor. Number 7, figure. Number 8, vintage germanium circuits. Number 9, bowsprit. Number 10, after the rain came. 11, spider. 12, raise over Bay Bridge. 13, mask. 14, yellow rumped, that's my name. 15, ruby-throated hummingbirds. 16, hanging on. 17, give me your soul. 18, Manchester Cathedral. 19, fern. 20, glass and wood. 21, leaving the little ones home. 22, backstairs mystery. 23, Lake Como, excuse me. 24, Greenback Castle entrance. 25, Holy Communion, communion. 26, bench mismanagement. 27, autumn leaf art. 28, knots. 29, heron preening. 30, the flying jewel. 31, Lenten rose. 32, ice cold. 33, potter. 34, 3 katanas. 35, I'm a katydid. 36, woodpecker. 37, tropicana. 38, rotation. 39, Angel Trio. 40, Fantasy. 41, Shay 4. 42, Moose Pond at Sunset. 43, Morning. 44, Golden Gloves. 45, Swamp Scene. 46, Fishing the Bay. 47, 56 at the End of the World. 48, Blue Angels LI. 49, Walking in the Sand. 50, Pollen. 51, Study Time in the Gardens. 52, Acer palmatum. 53, Round One. 54, Backcountry. 55, Clouds over Titicaca. 56, Ginkgo and Graffiti. And that is the end.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, we'll go all the way back here to the beginning, and I guess we are looking for 6 honorable mentions in addition to places 1 through 4.
Okay, that's like 11 slots there to fill, and it should be easy to do with this group. Okay, number 1, the Cast Train. Never saw it at night. You got all the boxes ticked on this in terms of processing it. I would take the highlights down just a touch on the light too, because that is a bit overwhelming. But it's black on black, so you can see the front to the back of the train. It's working well. The interest level doesn't really make it for me, but I think it's good enough to make it into the placement. So I'm going to advance this one.
Okay. 1 is in. Number 2.
Number 2, this one here is again a well processed and engaging image, because this the bird, you got all the feathers, the highlights are there, and so you can see the texture of every feather on this woodpecker. The highlight in the eye really enhances this as well too. So we're going to advance this one as well.
Okay. Number 2 is in. Number 3.
This looks like a nice experiment to do, because I've done several of them like this too. However, there's a little telltale of the cloning below the sphere where the stand was, and that is kind of noticeable. It's a cool thing to do. I don't think I'd hang this on the wall, or if it's even competition worthy, but it's it's a neat experiment. So I'm going to pass on this one.
Okay. Number 3 is out. Number 4.
Well, there you got this nice little repetition going to, and which one of these is not like the other with the red sail, or the red writing on the sail too. It's shot pretty well. You got everything there. I don't think this one's going to make it to the end though. There's not enough compelling there to keep me engaged in this. As one of those swipe throughs that I would do on Instagram. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay. Number 4 is out. Number 5.
Heading 2 working, what you see is the behind of the elephant. There is some issues with this particular photo too. I'm going to just enlarge it on my screen so I can see it. Your point of focus is pretty shallow on this too. Actually, the point of focus is the tail. Then the focus starts dropping forward of that too. So there's not enough there to keep me engaged. You got this elephant walking away from you on the trail. I'd rather see the elephant walking toward me to see the elephant. But just the backside of an elephant in a lot of trees is just really not enough there to engage the viewer. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 5 is out. Number 6.
6. I spent some time looking at this, and it just seems a touch. I mean, everything's in focus, but it seems to be hyper focused, a little towards the crunchy side, as a matter of fact. And it looks that way even on my second screen here. Especially, it's just on a background. It's just a bit too much. If you would take this into Photoshop, perhaps, and just kind of apply to create some sort of like an Orton glow on it. Not much, just a little touch, just to take the edge off some of that hyper focus featheriness of it. Then it would look just a bit more natural. But right now, it looks too unnatural for me. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 6 is out. Number 7.
This is one I really like, and I'm going to keep it in because it is engaging to me because I love stringed instruments. But I have a problem with my foreground being unfocused. I think this should be focused all the way, at least to the holes, because everything is focused from about halfway down the bridge. But if the bridge and the strings were focused, this would be an all-out great shot. But I'm going to keep it in anyway because I think there's just really some potential for this.
Okay, number 7 is in, and we're on to number 8.
Okay, this one here, having these 4 boards on a gray background doesn't really help it at all. If you would just keep this in a square crop and just crop all the way into, you don't see any more gray, just to the edge of wherever the gray is on that crop, I think you'd have a much stronger image. It would actually be quite interesting too, because it would have some sort of nice abstract level to it. But I'm going to drop it now, but give that a try. I think I might have some chance with this.
Okay, number 8 is out. Number 9.
Number 9 is everything is there and it's in focus. I would like it to see it toned a little bit more. I would like to see you got the blacks and the whites, but not a whole lot of in between, except in the clouds. The clouds is nice and helpful, but there's a lot of detail going on here that could be explored individually. The ropes and I don't know nautical terms, but there's some stuff in there. I don't think it's really up to the level of making it to the final end, and you could probably lose that street light that's poking out of the upper right-hand side as well too. And give this another shot. Try taking it back through whatever processing method you do to work on the toning of this. But we're going to drop this one.
Okay, number 9 is out. Number 10.
Number 10. You have a really shallow focus on this. At least the foreground is in focus, and that is good. and it drops off pretty quickly right beyond the first pile of pestle. So I, I'm going to keep this one in because that is, the focus works for me. However, would I give a shot if you're going to try this again and you've got a longish lens? Uh, step back a few feet further and zoom in on it. Catch your focus there, maybe stop down a stop or two, but your background will be a lot more softer and your foreground will be a lot sharper. I think you're stepping a little too close to take this shot, but it works. I mean, everything is in focus that it needs to be. But we're going to keep this one.
Okay. Number 10 is in. Number 11.
Number 11, the spider. It's very interesting. I just wish you didn't put it on a blue background. I don't know if you're on an illuminated background or not. You should have cleaned up the smudge up in the upper right-hand side. That doesn't really help. And all that blue background just leaves a lot of, unnecessary blue in this image in terms of white balance. The white is white, which is, I think, is unusual, but all that blue is sneaking in between the fur, and it's not that pleasing of a color either. If you'd put that on a white background, I think you'd have a better chance, and or a white lit table if you have one of those. That would work too. And if there was any transparency or translucency to any of that bug, that would shine through as well too. But that blue just doesn't work for me, so I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 11 is out. Number 12.
Number 12 is a good shot, and I like it. I like the way it's framed. I think you'd have better hope with this as a black and white, because I looked at it as black and white, and it's pretty dynamic with a little toning. However, if you want to keep it in color, that blue-green sky doesn't really work. You'd have to get into Lightroom and shift the hues around a little bit to make that more of a golden yellow to get that dark blue out there. And that sky is the only time I see a colored sky like that or close to like that is before a tornado. But it's not really pleasing to this photo. But in black and white, I think it would work quite well. You can really do some good stuff with that. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 12 is out. Number 13.
13. You shot this at a relatively odd angle, down and almost diagonally, but not quite. And it's a picture of an object on a table, and it's really not a compelling one. I mean, it's a kind of a cool mask, and it's kind of an alabaster sort of thing. And I like the reflection, but I don't like it enough to keep it in. So we're going to drop this one.
Okay, number 13 is out. Number 14.
Got a lot of birds here. This one here was well done. But what I'm seeing a lot of this is birds on a blank background. This is a beautiful opportunity might try this with some textures, put this on some textures, make a piece of art out of it. I'm going to keep it in, but I think you might want to give that a try. Try it on some different types of textures, backgrounds, and blend it in with some blend diff or something like that. I think you'll have a much more interesting photo. But we're going to keep this one.
Okay, number 14 is in. Number 15.
Same here. A good action shot. Again, on a beautifully soft background. Why not use some textures? Make some art out of this. This is done so well. I'm going to keep it in, but I think you can do some nicer things with this.
Okay, number 15 is in. Number 16.
16, I love this composition. I mean, I really do. I like it. The only problem with it is, and it's not your fault because you didn't get the light you needed that day. That would really benefit with some nicer lighting. You can, I'm going to keep this one in because I do like the composition of it. But you might try, getting into Photoshop or Lightroom and try some selective dodging and burning to give the illusion of some lighting on the edges and some, highlights around there, and maybe put a little masking, linear masking off to one side to kind of give the illusion of some creeping light and some warmth coming into this fairly cool and very flat lit image. But I'm going to keep this image in.
Okay, 16 is in. Number 17.
Okay, well, this artist is looks like is no stranger to studio lighting. I have nothing to comment about that. We're keeping it in. It's very well done. And I like the pose too.
Okay, number 17. Number 18 is next.
This one here has been developed very, very nicely. I don't know if it was done HDR wise or whatever, or some image blending, but the lighting is just gorgeous in this too. You got the stained glass window, everything's in detail. The pipes are there. Nothing is overlit or highlights are not blown out. This is, I'm looking at the histogram of this thing. It just, looks like there shouldn't be a lot of just blown out. The blacks are black where they need to be. I'm going to keep this. This is very good.
Okay. Number 18 is in. Number 19.
19. Well, I'm a frequent flyer at Longwood, so I take lots of photos like these and garden photos. It's developed in terms of sharpness and everything. It's very well good. I don't I'm not going to contest the artist for his use of color blending on this too, because I do a lot of I don't particularly agree with this selection of colors, but you might try this in black and white too, because I did, and I press the V and look at it in black and white, and with a little toning in this, it could be I think a lot more interesting as a black and white. But I'm going to keep it in because all the checks are checked in, all the boxes are checked on this one here.
Okay. All right. Number 19 is in. Now to number 20.
20 is in too. I like it a lot. I like your selective focus is right where it needs to be. You got those three dreadnoughts sitting up there hanging in the background. You know what they are. And the focus is not too soft and not too sharp. It's just good. I like the way this has been rendered. This is in.
Okay. Number 20 is in. Number 21.
21. Well, you got everything focused properly in this. You got some action going on. The tree and the wings got a little motion to it. It all works, but it really lacks any kind of appeal to me. I mean, it's there, but it's not for me. So I'm going to take this one out.
Okay. All right. Number 21 is out. Number 22.
22. This is you've got the composition nicely done in here, and I like it. However, your focus is not quite right. It doesn't. You don't start coming into focuses about midway up the spiral staircase. Everybody loves the spiral staircase. You can't really go wrong with those. Your positioning too is a little odd too, because all your ceiling lines and your door and window lines are basically all askew, and you're at the top up there. That's really blown out. That needs to be toned down quite a bit. Shadows need to be brought up considerably because you really don't need a whole lot of black around, particularly around the top of it. You want to see some of those beams, what's coming into that area. You want to see a little bit more of that, and you might stop your focus down a little bit more too, because the foreground is really soft, and you need that to basically lead your eyes into the rest of the image. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 22 is out. Number 23. Lake
Como. If this is the Lake Como I'm thinking, up in northern Italy, that's where Hannibal had one of his great battles in in the 3rd century BC. This is a nice postcard shot. Everything is well done. I can't take any issue with this photo, so I'm going to keep it in. I like it because Italian homes with all those nice colored homes is gorgeous, and it's focused front to back, all the way back. So that's a good shot, even though it looks like it was shot in a pretty low, pretty small aperture.
Okay. All right. Number 23 is in. Number 24.
24. This one is a little over contrasty. You got everything lit, and but you need to warm up the the blues a little bit in this too, because all that shadow in there just cools this whole image down when it should be a bit warmer. It's not quite the postcard shot I'm looking. This is more like a vacation shot, and so the interest level really doesn't work for me in this too. I think you could salvage this a little bit too with a little bit of color manipulation in the channels. Basically, move the shadows, particularly in the color grading. In the color grading, you can do this too. Use bring the shadows a little bit, make the shadows a little bit warmer, make the highlights a little bit oranger, maybe to give it a little bit more of a sunsetty feel, because the contrast is, you shot this in a pretty harsh part of the day. So I'm going to drop this one for now and let them work on it and try this again.
Okay, number 24 is out. Number 25.
25. It's a lovely moment where this girl, but I hate seeing anybody's head chopped off. It wouldn't hurt to have the zoomed out just a little bit so we could see this priest, I believe, that's behind her, and what she's looking at is just a pure profile. And she's looking at something, and I'd like to see what it is she's looking at. I know there's a bit of mystery to that, but a little bit more reveal would help. She's totally in focus. The highlights could be dropped down just a notch, but you get all the lace work in here too. The focus basically doesn't start until around midpoint up here too, because the lace is a little soft. It's okay. It works. That doesn't, no demerits for that. And probably just a little bit more shadow so I can see a little bit more of a detail in her hair as well as her bangs. The eyes are a little on the blue side, so you might do a little spot masking there as well too. Other than that, I think this one doesn't really come up to the finals level, so I'm going to drop it here.
Okay, number 25 is out. Number 26.
Mismanagement. I'm trying to find out, I see these two chairs here, but I don't know that many chair fans what the particular interest of this image is. I mean, they're in focus, and the background is kind of soft, so your focal point is okay. It's all working, but there's just too much stuff there, and I don't know what basically to sit and contemplate. So I'm going to drop this just for particular lack of interest.
Okay, number 26 is out. Number 27.
Okay. This is the time of year where we all get out and get close-ups of our leaves. And this one here is pretty nice. There's a nice abstract going on here. Don't know if it really needed the border, but it helps, or that wide of a border. But the colors and focus is hyper-focused macro-wise. I can't find any complaint with it, so I'm going to keep it in for now.
Okay, number 27 is in. Number 28.
28, this one here needs a little bit more work too. This one here is a little flat in the contrast side. There's quite a blue cast to it as well too. So you might want to check your color temperature on this, your white balance, and or manipulate it in the colors panel in Lightroom, and or the color grading. But the blue is black, the white is blue, or the black is blue, and so is the white. So yeah, that's this one here needs a little bit work. The focus is good. Actually, the subject is okay too. I can live with that, but I think you need to really work on the coloring of this here. Keep a look at your color, check your color monitor, make sure that is profiled and you got your colors going good there. But I'm going to have to drop this one because of the color cast.
Okay, number 28 is out. Number 29.
This one has a color cast issue as well too. Just too much blue and purple, and it may be the lighting, but it's not really flattering to the image. If you basically try your white balance, try it in if what you shot it in is working, not correcting it, try auto. But yeah, you got way too much blue and purple color casting on this bird. I like the pose, the bird on a stick, and you got a nice frame with the leaves around it. There's some potential there, but I think you need to correct the colors on this. So I'm gonna this one's out.
Okay, number 29 is out. Number 30.
Okay, this one here, you copped this here right in the right place in the right time. And again, the background doesn't really help. Put some texture in there. But it's competition worthy, so I'm going to keep it in. The wings has a touch of motion in there. I'd like to see, it's on that iffy zone. It's either too little or not enough. Could be just a little bit more motion in that. You shot this at 1250. If you dropped it down to 1,000, you still would have gotten the bird, but a little bit more wing action. But I'm going to keep it in because I like it. You really caught the detail of this creature very nicely. And again, I'd say try some of that background. You could make a nice Instagram image. So we're going to keep this one.
Okay, number 30 is in, and now the 31.
31. There's a lot of potential here too, but I think you need a recapture of this too. Your focus was a little bit too shallow, and you should have included the four-leaf, the one in the foreground, into that focus. Because you're leading in with a soft image into your focus area and the area you want your eye to be in, but you want to draw it in with some focus on that four leaf there too. Little focus stacking would work. or it's just stopping down to f32, whatever you need. You could still blur the background a little bit more by adjusting your position and your focal length. But beyond all that, that black blob in the lower left-hand corner really kind of takes it out of the competition. So I'm going to this one's out.
Okay, number 31 is out. Number 32.
This one really, I just passed by it. Here it is. 32. No, this one here basically conveys the message. It's icy cold there, and good slow shutter speed. You caught the water at a really nice flow. That's another thing. It's easy to get out of whack. See, you got to hit that Goldilocks zone with slow shutter speed on waterfalls, and you did it with this. You might take the highlights touch down just a little bit more for the ultra white sections of those ice clumps, just to add just bringing back a little bit more detail in those areas. But otherwise, I think this is a perfectly done shot. The color is very nicely rendered in here too. So I'm going to keep this one. This is in.
Okay, number 32 is in. Next is number 33.
33, okay. This is a good image of this woman potter, and you got her nicely focused and colored. It appears, however, that you took the background and probably isolated it in masked out in Lightroom to probably desaturate it and tone it down a little bit to make her pop out, which works. Is fine because she is the sole image. A little contrasty on the face. I would have tried to soften that down a little bit, but it's engaging enough. I'm going to keep this one. This one's in.
Okay, number 33 is in. Number 34.
Okay, well, this is a well-lit and well-focused image. It looks like you're trying to sell these swords on eBay. I don't really know if I would hang these on my wall. It's not particularly engaging enough. It looks like a tabletop image of something you're trying to sell. It's good. The texture of the what it is you're in, I don't know if that's felt or black board. You have it backlit, or the lighting's coming from the top back side. I can see that from the shadows, but it's the shadows are pretty well contained. You could probably touch up some of the object area, of particularly the lower image down there on the scabbard there, to bring the light out on that just a little bit more. But I don't think there's much interest in this image to make it to the finals, so I'm going to drop it here. This one's out.
Okay. Number 34 is out. Number 35.
35, I'm going to keep this one in because it's very interesting. It's engaging. I like it. It's comical. However, I would take this square image and basically crop it down to the parts that are mostly in focus and keeping him in that, because you really don't need all that surrounding area. There's just way too much space, out of focus space. Is really, and that would also bring this katydid into your face. I would strongly suggest basically cropping this thing down to its essence, keeping that katydid basically on the third side, the right third side of your tic-tac-toe board, and just have it bisect him right there, and I think you'll have a really nice, compelling image. But we're going to keep this one.
Okay, 35 is in. Number 36.
Boy, it's bird night. We've got woodpeckers and hummingbirds galore. This one here is a good shot. I like it. He's posed. I've got a couple upside down hummingbirds as well. I like this shot because you know what he's doing. This would be this is a nice magazine shot. I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 36 is in. Number 37.
Everything tells me that this should be out, but it is so compelling. I keep staring at it. This one just keeps me engaged. I'm going to keep this one in. I just like it. And this gal up front, this dancer up front, who's striking that pose in silhouette, that headdress up there has just got me nailed. I'm looking at that, and it looks like some sort of creature ahead of something that the pareidolia is really working on this. But I'm going to keep this one in. This is a very interesting photo.
Okay. Number 37 is in. Number 38.
38. It's done well. It's one of those images that on a snowy day that keeps you in the house. You want to do something to keep your camera going. Set up down in the basement, and that's what it kind of reminds me of. And it would look nice on Instagram, but I don't think it's really up to competition level tonight. So I'm going to basically take this one out.
Okay, number 38 is out. Number 39.
Number 39. Well done image of this relief. I don't know if it's on a cemetery, in a graveyard, or in a church. But my question is, what did the photographer bring to this art, other than cropping and some toning? I'm going to take this one out because it's just, to me, it's well done, but it's just a picture of something, a piece of art on the wall. This one's out.
Okay. All right. Number 39 out. Number 40.
Number 40. Again, there's a lot of sparkly colors in this, but posting it on a flat black background really doesn't help it at all. However, if you would put it on a light table and uplit it, to bring out some of those colors in another way, I think that would be a little bit more of an interesting image. Your focus starts dropping off about halfway up the ball too. Something like this needs to be sharp all the way around. But on any other color but black, show a little bit something there. Even a gradient would work. But I don't think this image is really working, so I'm going to take this one out.
Okay, number 40 is out. Number 41.
I'm going to leave this one in with a caveat. You got too much image here, and it needs to be cropped. And I would say crop it down from you. You don't need the sky, and you don't need all that top part up there. That just doesn't really work for the image. I would take the crop all the way down to halfway down to the tree on the right side and crop it up to where it starts to come into focus right at the train tracks. And then at that point, I would take in do a little bit more toning on the trains themselves, probably a little not dehaze, but a touch of clarity and a touch of texture on the right train would really bring that into focus, as subject, and probably work with the shadows and contrast a little bit on the left-hand train. But this has a lot of potential, but I don't think you need all that vertical space. But I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay, number 41 is in. Number 42.
Okay, I looked at this one a long time, and it's a nice calming image, but you have The one thing that really bothers me about that is that green. That is just really not a natural green for that, for the rest of that image. I would basically shift that over to the yellows a little bit more too, because you got all this warm sky going on in kind of a cool environment. And the reflections of the sky in the water too kind of, confound me a little bit too, because you got all this golden sunset and you got a whole different set of clouds going on in the foreground. So the foreground doesn't really match the background. You got this nice focused area up here too. But the greens don't seem to match the rest of the image. And it's not particularly a natural color green either. But with the meandering lake, I mean, there's a lot going with this image, and it can be worked up. It could probably cropped up a little bit from the bottom too, because I don't know if you need, all those weeds cropped up a little bit and then clone out the leftovers, because I do like that that bit of branch and stuff in the right hand side that's in the water itself too. I'm gonna leave this one in with an asterisk.
Okay, number 42 is in. Number 43.
43. Well, you did all the right things for this. I mean, there's nothing. The blacks are not really blown out, and it's a kind of a calming image. Although I would like to see the cool is so cool. If you could just warm that up just a touch, and still, keep it cool, but, add just a little bit more warming to it. And you can see that the sun's coming in from the right-hand side, and probably with a little dodging and burning and a bit of dehazing a little bit too on that mountainside, just to bring that out in a little bit more, because, I like this, but it needs work. So again, I'm going to keep this one in with an asterisk.
Okay, number 43 is in. Number 44.
This one's in too. I like this. He kept it in sharp. It tells a story. It's a lovely image. It would work nicely framed on the wall, and it would work very well in black and white as well, either or. But I think the black and white, I tried it in black and white, and I really liked it. But it's done very well. I'm going to keep this one.
Okay, 44 is in. Number 45.
Okay. 45 works as well too, black and white, the highlighted too, but it's just there's just too much competing weedy stuff going in and around it too, because the branch of blossoms just really doesn't stand out well enough too. You might keep working on it, but I think there's just too much weedy stuff going on in and around that too, unless you want to defocus some of that stuff even more. But it's not really up to the level of making it to the finals, so I'm going to take this one out.
Okay, number 5 at 45 is out. Number 46.
46, another good working man's photo. This one here works very well. I like it. However, I would like to see the maker basically crop the left side out, take that motor out altogether, and just butt that left-hand side right up to the butt of the guy leaning over there, and I think you would nail that shot. That's a pretty good shot. So I'm going to leave that one in.
Okay. Number 46 is in. Number 47.
I went to a lot of car shows this year too. This guy here in the fog, and you really, making the statement that is in the red and chrome, and focuses in all the good places. Good use of clarity on the bumpers and the headlights. I'm going to leave this in. I don't know if it's going to make it all the way, but I'm going to leave it in. It's, I like the angle because I like getting down low when I take a shot of these things here. You have these things, you just feel like they're going to run right over you. So I'm going to leave this guy in.
Okay. 47 is in. Number 48.
Okay. Blue Angel shots are kind of getting to be fairly common nowadays too. And so you got this guy on a pretty pale sky. Color contrast is good. It's all good. The interest is really not there. I like to see more than one bird in the sky with these guys too, because, they fly in formation, do all kinds of dipsy doodles and things. So I don't think there's really enough there for me to keep it in. So I'm going to drop this one.
Okay, number 48 is out. Number 49.
And this guy's taking a walk on the beach with 1 foot, which makes this makes you kind of put you in a wonder why mode. The color casting I don't particularly care for on this either too. It's a little too blue, too purpley, and the focus is there, but there's not a whole lot of other interest other than wondering why there's only 1 footprint. I'm going to drop this one, take this one out.
Okay. Number 49 is out. Number 50.
I like what the photographer did with this. He got up close and personal. This thing is just buried in pollen, but all the detail is there. I'm going to keep this one in. I like it because I like where the focal point is. I don't care about the drop off around the edges because the focus is basically all on this bee here. You got his wings in sharp focus. The drop off in the front is fine because, the focus is basically this bee, being piled in pollen. Good job. We're keeping this.
Okay. Let's go to number 51.
Okay, technically this is all working. However, the interest, I think, is a little too personal to the individual who took the shot because I don't think there's a wider audience for this lady reading a book on a white bench with, this Tory gate behind her. And another thing that's quite distracting is the out of focus bush right in front of her too, because that's kind of a distraction looking between her and why isn't that bush in focus. So we're going to take this one out.
Okay. Number 51 is out. Number 52.
Japanese maple, even though it's an Acer Palladium. It's a nice study and contrast of colors, the blue and the red. But again, I don't think it's again one of those shots that I take all the time. I walk around, that looks really interesting. I'll take the picture of it and then take it home and says, what did I find interesting about this? The leaves are in focus and the drop off is okay. But there's not really enough there to keep it in the going. So I'm going to take this one out now.
Okay, number 52 out. Number 53.
Well, you definitely caught this at the right moment. This one we're going to keep in, but I'd like to make a note to the photographer that you might want to bring out the shadows just a touch more on the wings. I would like to see just a little more detail in those things because everything is just crystal clear sharp. You got your white point pretty much at the right place because I can see the feathers on their heads and I can see the detail in those feathers. But yeah, bring out the shadows just a little bit more. I think you would have a much stronger image there too. I like it, and it's good job at catching that at that moment. That one's in.
Okay. Number 53 is in. Number 54 next.
Lovely portrait. Good job at the lighting, and everything is there. No distractions, no shadows from the hat. The eyes are just spot on. You catch the color and detail. He's checked all the boxes, so I'm going to keep this one in.
Okay. Number 54 is in. Number 55.
55, Lake Titicaca. This is really good, but there's just way. I know the sky is the subject for you, but there's just way too much of it. Why not take this thing down about a third of, or probably about 2/3 of the way? Make a 2/3 panel out of this, and that'd be a lot more interesting shot. It would make the foreground images a little bit larger, and a little bit more toning in the blacks and the whites. I think you'd have a really killer image, but just way too much sky. I'm going to leave it in with an asterisk, though. But yeah, that really needs to be cropped down, at least halfway, if not 2/3.
Okay. Number 55 is in. And our last image of the evening is number 56.
Okay, this one has a lot of interest too because of the colors. The colors are all there. It's just lovely. I think every bit of it. However, I would like to see a little bit more brilliance up in the blue portion of that, because that really drops off, and it's probably because of the vignetting. Try vignetting, protecting the highlights, but that's really good because it looks like you took it in a fairly harsh part of the day too, because the contrast on the on the leaves and the shadow is pretty pronounced, but it all works. I'm going to keep this one in. This is in.
Okay, number 56 is in.
We've got the
So
last one.
let's count how many we have left in at this point.
Go to G here. A lot. 15. Holy shit. 10, 15, 20, 25. Looks like I got 30 in.
I confirm 30.
Yep.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Okay. Sweet.
Do you want to go through
I'm
the
gonna
30
do-
and pull a couple out, or would you like
Yeah,
to
I'm
see them
gonna
all?
do some eliminations first,
Okay.
and then try to narrow it down from there.
Okay.
Let me start from the top row. Number 1, cast train. I'm going to eliminate that one because we got some stronger ones in there
Okay.
besides him. So I'm going to take him out. We'll unp him. We'll keep in. I'd love to keep this violin in, but again, it's got a little bit of a flaw with the focus. I'd like to see the foreground in focus a little bit more, but I really love this guy. I love the composition of it all, but we're going to have to lose him.
Okay.
Number 16, hanging on. Again, I really like the composition, and everything works for that except for the lighting is just too flat. And I know it's fixable, and try give it some fixing and bring it back. But we're taking him out.
Okay. 16.
Number 33, the Potter. Well composed and well done image, but you've got some competition here that outweighs you. So I'm going to take her out. Number 42, Moose Pond. That needs some color work done with it too. Could be made a better image. Let me just hit the V key for a moment here. You know, it could even work in black and white now that I'm looking at it, and I think that would help your color issues. But for the time being, I'm going to take this one out, number 42. And 43, I'm going to take this one out because it has much stronger challengers. And I think this one could use a little work too to make it more compelling. But it's a good start. Number 43, Morning.
Okay, 43 out.
Number 54, Backcountry. I'm going to take him out as well too. It's well done photo, and I'm sure the image of this person would like a framed version of this too. So please do that. Lake Titicaca, and I'd really like to. I'd like to see that cropping done with this too, and bring this one back for another show, and try to even done as a print, because I think you have a really good shot with this thing here, but too much sky.
Can you confirm that's number 55?
I'm sorry. Yes, 55. Clouds
Perfect.
over time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. And I'm still left with a ton. And I got to get it down to 11.
Correct.
Okay, now the nitpickies. Okay, number 10, After the Rain Came. I'm just going to take this one out because of strength of competition. I do like the dewdrops though. Number 27, Autumn Leaves. It's a good image and I like it. And
I'm sorry. What number is that?
27, Autumn Leaves. 27.
27. Okay.
Yeah. Try printing that. That could work. But we're going to take it out of this one. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Okay, the Yellow Rumped That's My Name, number 14, in your hit parade. I'm going to take this guy out too because it's basically there's just a lot of dead space around him. Like I said, try doing some texture work with this guy. I think you'll have a lot better chance. That's number 14. It's out. Number 30, The Flying Jewel. I'm going to take this one out too, pretty much for the same reasons. It's a lovely shot of a bird on a planet background, and I think your next try with these things, because this is a good shot, but you might try getting the wing either dead shot are more motion. Like I said, with the water, you got to find that that Goldilocks spot. But we're going to lose number 30.
Yeah, number 30 out.
We can also, Mike, we can also start placing if that makes things better as well. And then we can just dump the.
I'm gonna. I can do that. How many do I have left here? And how's our time?
I'm counting 18. We have plenty of time.
Okay.
Sounds right.
Okay. I'm going to continue dropping down till I can get a manageable amount here. Number 19, firm. I'm going to drop this one too because of strength competition, but I think, again, give this a shot in black and white. I got, how many do I have now? I got
17.
17. Okay, so I got to lose 6 more. Just as a matter of feedback, number 41, Shay. Again, give this some cropping. Give it another look. I'm going to drop it from this competition, but it's got some potential.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, 46 fishing by the bay. That one needs some crop work. Good shot. It's definitely a contender, a competitor. So try this one again. Number 37, Tropicana. As much as I like it, I'm going to have to drop this one here too. I think we got some stronger ones in here. Yeah. Number 35, I'm a katydid. Do some of the crop work I mentioned, and I think you got a winner here too. So, but for now, I'm going to take this one out. Number 56, Ginkgo and Graffiti. Although I like all the colors of this too, and the composition of it, I'm going to drop this one as well.
Shouldn't 56 is 6 honorable mentions.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have to just drop one more.
Need 2 more. Bob just chimed in. We have 1 through 4, 10% honorable mention, which will give us 4 plus 6.
4 plus 6. Oh, we're down to 10.
Down to 10.
Okay. Mm-hmm. 1 through 4 plus 6.
Correct.
Okay, so that is 11. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Go back to. So I need to drop just one more then.
No, you need 2. You need to get down to 10.
2.
Oh, I need down to 10.
Mm-hmm. 1 through 4th, and then 6 honorable mentions.
Well, that's 5 and 6, isn't it?
1st through 4th, and then 6 honorable mentions. That's
2,
4
3,
plus 6.
4, and 6. Okay. My math is bad.
No problem.
And you're the treasurer for MPA, Mike.
Hey, that's why I have QuickBooks.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm gonna then. Man, this is a really tough one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to drop the 56 Chevy, which is number 47. And I'm going to take out Number 36, the woodpecker, although I do think that is a great shot. But 6 honorable mentions. Okay. The 6 honorable mentions will be number 53, round 1 of the Eagles.
Okay, number 53. Okay.
Number 15, the dueling hummingbirds.
Okay, ruby-throated hummingbirds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Number 50, pollen.
Okay. Pollen. Okay.
Number 23, Lake Como.
23. Okay.
And I need one more for honorable mention.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Two more.
Yes. 2 more. Right.
2 more, okay. Number 2, the woodpecker.
Okay. And 1 more.
Okay, one more would be number 32, ice cold.
Okay. 32. Okay. 32.
Well, the tough part now is placing the top 4.
Yep.
Okay. In 4th place, I will give it to number 44, Golden Gloves.
Okay.
3rd place, I will give to 20, Glass and Wood.
Okay. Glass and wood. Okay. That's
That's 3rd place. 2nd
All right.
place, 17, Give Me Your Soul. Actually, any of these could be 1st place.
okay.
And number 1, I will give to 18, Manchester Cathedral.
Okay. Okay, Mike, you feel like you worked a little bit?
A little bit.
Gave a lot of good feedback for
I have an
many of these.
icy one in the refrigerator waiting for me.
Excellent. Yeah. You give a lot of good feedback to folks so they can bring these back in again. So we appreciate that. So let's take a look at what we have. In no particular order, the honorable mentions. Number 2, woodpecker. John, you starting on the other end?
I am.
Okay.
53.
All right, number 53. All right, we'll go to 53. That's round 1, and that was honorable mention, Fred Venetia. Congratulations, Fred. All right, another honorable mention is number 50, pollen, and the photographer is Tammy Gorsak. Congratulations, Tammy.
Well done.
That's not an iPhone picture, I don't believe.
Well, actually, it could be, but yeah.
Well, it could be. We'll have to ask that question on Facebook tomorrow. We'll mention ice cold. That's Fred Venecio. Okay. The next honorable mention is number 23, and that's Lake Como, Edna Henke. Congratulations, Ed. And next honorable mention is number 15, ruby-throated hummingbirds, Mike Thomas. Congratulations, Mike. And number 2, woodpecker by Louis Sapienza. Congratulations, Louis. And now for the placements. Number 4th place was number 44, Golden Gloves, Ron Pfeiffer. 3rd place, thank you. 3rd place is Glass and Wood, John Milliker. 2nd place, John, congratulations, and also congratulations to Mike Thomas for 2nd place, Give Me Your Soul.
I love that.
And then the 1st place image, congratulations goes to Doug Wood for Manchester Cathedral. So a lot of beautiful images tonight, and an awful lot of beautiful images that did not make it into the final. So, Mike, you really worked hard with this. I really appreciate I think we all appreciate the commentary and the feedback in terms of taking a look at this again. And I think, interestingly, you spent a lot of time, many of these are color images, and you talked to an awful lot of us about paying really close attention to the color in the images, and I think in some ways that we've not heard from some of the other judges in the past, and that could be very helpful to us. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, it's part of my workflow is as I push things through there, I basically just hit the V key on Lightroom to see what the black and white potential is of that, image, and so it's also good for toning. A lot of color images I tone in black and white before I turn them back to color again.
Okay.
So,
yeah, and sometimes when you do black and whites, you tone them, may exaggerate the color or something to get the toning where you need it to be. And if you know what I'm saying, you don't simply just convert it to black and white. You also prepare it to move over to black and white.
yeah, and vice versa too. So,
Yeah,
like I said, sometimes I will take an image into black and white to do the toning because that really helps you see the color a little bit better too.
Yeah.
So you know where your toning separation is, your lights and darks are.
All right. John, do we have any comments from anybody on Facebook today?
Everybody's very happy with the critiques and thank Mike very much, and just absolutely love seeing the winners.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, and thank you
Mike,
everybody for letting me do this.
Thank you, Mike, so much. Look forward to you coming back another time soon.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah, good
Thank
night,
you,
Mike.
Mike. Thank you, Ron. All of the winners, please be sure to share your images on the Facebook group. Tell us a little bit about how you created them so that we can enjoy. I also want to remind people that we only have 1 week until next week's meeting, which is our open contest color and monochrome prints. Please be sure to get your images printed. I know it's a tough one. Last month we had a mini contest because we just didn't have that many novices. There's a lot of points and a lot of awards to scarf up in the novice category. And if you have any questions on how to print or how to mount your boards, please reach out to our contest team or any of your Camera Club officers, and we'll be happy. We'll be ecstatic to help you out. And don't forget also next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, the 19th, is our Camera Club field trip to the Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center, the Air and Space Museum near Dulles Airport. And I think that's it. Unless, Ron, unless you have anything else to say, or Christine, we'll go ahead and close the meeting.
Just to reiterate what you said, I've had a couple emails from folks this week about printing. If you're having some difficulty getting your images printed or want some suggestions on that, email me, text, whatever, call, and we can talk about that. And one other request is tend to the extent you can on the matting this time. As many of you did before, take a lot of care with the appearance because that counts a lot for the judges. And I had one of my own that came apart this last time. So you really want to work at trying to make sure they're in good shape. They're going to make through the pass-throughs. And so they don't have any loose pieces on the back to scratch the image that's immediately beneath you in the stack. So anyway, look forward to seeing a lot of images in person. And it won't be Mike this time. It'll be another judge, and we'll see how that goes.
Perfect. I've also seen people talk about we've had a little bit of Facebook problems today. Unfortunately, on my side, I didn't see any problems or any blips, but Facebook is going through a lot of changes. And we'll just have to try this out again. If for some reason, Facebook is going to keep dropping the ball and not fixing any kind of server issues, or who knows, it affected some people and not the others. So maybe it was a connection problem and not a Facebook problem, but some people had to refresh. We're going to monitor that and keep an eye on that. And if we need to, we'll pivot to something a little bit more stable to make sure everybody can join in live. And this live stream will go up live on YouTube by tomorrow. But I think that's it. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Good night.